The cost of any building is directly proportional to the size of the building, which means if the area that's supposed to be constructed is much then it will be expected that the cost of the construction will be high as well. The main elements that determine the expensiveness or the cheapness of the construction buildings are the location, the site of location, the material, and the labor. Let us see how these three items together determine the cost of the construction. In order to give a clear view about the cost of the construction in Somaliland, any person who is looking forward to build a house or would like to build a house in Somaliland, let me begin with the importance of the site of the location. This can be divided up into two. If a building is erected on a ground made up of loose sand, it will cost a quite bit more than it will have if the building would have been erected on the rocky site. Now, for those of you who might understand how that might be, let me explain for you. If the site of the building is built upon sand loose soil, then the cost of the construction will increase because there is a much moisture in the sand loose soil. This is much of importance as the total load from the structure of the building is transmitted to the loose sand soil. The soil loses if the soil loses some of the moisture content, and its volume will decrease. Due to this action, a settlement will happen to the building. Therefore, to avoid any settlement, it will need to excavate up to where the soil can resist the load, and it will be needed to build a reinforced concrete foundations and a footings which really cost a much. In a contrast, if the location is on a rocky site, place, good example like a SAS, it will be expected that the cost will be very less because of the high carrying capacity of the rocky sites, and which would have if the construction if the building was on a rocky site, it would lose much of the cost, which would have added additional cost through using up great quantity of material. The two remaining elements that determine the expensiveness or the cheapness of construction building material and labor are the most important aspects that is essential for us to focus upon. Together they constitute 95% of the total cost of the construction building material. Taking material takes up 65%, where the labor takes 30%. Now to conclude, we are going to take as example the cost of a building. Average building has the characteristics of one floor reinforced concrete roof slab. Just we are going to explain detail the cost of an average building. We will start from the excavation of the foundation. Every meter cubic of the excavation of the foundation will cost $8.5. And then the second thing will be the construction of a foundation masonry stone, which will cost every meter cubic of it $40.5. The construction the fourth thing will be the construction of a RRC foundation, the construction of a reinforced concrete foundation, which is every meter cubic of it will cost $16. The fifth thing will be to build a hollow block walls, which every meter square of it will cost $16. It's the laying and skirting of the floor tiles. Every meter square of the floor tiles will cost $10, where and the 8 reinforced concrete roof slab will cost, every meter cubic of it will cost $207. Finally, this will be the end of my topic, and thanks all of you for listening.